Do men have diaries? Well, I've never thought so. I've always believed writing down secrets, having diaries, are all girly stuff. I never expected a guy would have one, not until I entered my son's room. One day, while my son was at school, I went into his room to search for a pen to finish my report. I saw one on the table. Next to it was a key lying around. I wondered what it was for, and what my son was hiding that he had a key to. I got curious and kept searching for something I knew nothing about. I eventually found a book with a lock. It felt silly to me at first, thinking maybe one of his classmates left it with him or something. But when I opened it, I found out it was my son's handwriting. It was his diary, my home of secrets, he captioned it. As I read through the pages, I found out I knew nothing about my son. My child, whom I've trained for 17 years, seemed like a stranger to me. And this was how I found out my son was gay. Growing up, my parents never supported the idea of homosexuality. We grew up reading the Bible, going to churches, and whenever we came across such a scenario, they would always tell us how it was never in the Bible and would never be accepted by God. They totally shunned homosexuality, and none of us even dared to commit such a sin. When I had my family, I made this point clear too. I told all my kids that this was the way I grew up. This was how I was trained. This is the only right thing. There is nothing more than two genders, and liking the same sex is a taboo before the heavens. This I made a daily reminder, so I never thought any of my kids would end up being gay. I felt disgusted when I read my son's diary. He told of how he's had crushes on some of his classmates, of how he's fantasized of romancing, kissing, and having sexual relations with them. He told of this particular boy in his class, James, whose name was, whom he's had a forever crush on. He thinks James likes him too. He said a lot of things that I can't mention, and of course he wrote of how he dared not mention this to his parents due to his dad's belief. He wrote of how he felt restrained, how he felt unwanted, abandoned. He felt like a stranger in his own home, and how he would run away from home once he's 18. I felt a surge of emotions: annoyance, pity, fear. I felt like crying, confused, frustrated. I knew absolutely nothing about my son. Then how about my other kids? Did they know? Did they support him? Did they hide it from me? I didn't know what to say. I left the room. When my son returned, I called him. I said, "Son, is there anything bothering you that you want to say?" He seemed confused at first. "Oh no, Dad, I'm totally all right." "Is there a problem?" This went on for a while and I couldn't bear it anymore. I told him I read your diary. The look on his face, I'd never seen that look on my son before. Before I knew it, he began to cry. He said a lot of things. He said how he's unable to tell me anything because of my beliefs. He said how he's sorry, how he's scared, how he's lonely. He said how he's still my son, how he still loves me, how he still loves me, how he still needs me. I felt bad, sad, terrible. But I still couldn't accept the fact that my son was gay. I still couldn't bear to see him uncomfortable in his own home. I was confused. I'm still confused. Should I let my beliefs go and accept my son for who he is? Or should I hold on to them without looking back? What would you do in my shoes? Do share your opinions with me in the comments. Follow, like, and share. We share stories with you every day.